It was ugly. And so 3 people ran, called the Dream Team. Stevie Wolf said to me, have your son suit up. Get him in a suit, send him down to my office at CBS, tell me about this park he wants, and if I win, we'll make it happen. And I took him down there. He went in like a little man, said, this is what I want, Mr. Wolf. Please fight, please try to win. Then he went to Hope Lamb and Jim Brown. And the rest is history. We have a beautiful park down there. And some of the staff, including I saw Wayne Saunders sitting there, they look like they want to take my head off, and my son, them to have that park there, which was really sad. And this was part of nobody being able to have their say in this town. The next thing that happened, people saw me on TV. The rest is history that I won't hash out about the Danny Cheatham thing and our dirty cop. And he crossed my path for some reason that I had no intention to do, because I was from a law enforcement family. I was told, people, go home. They said, be quiet, Mrs. Ford. This is going to happen. He's going to be our police chief. Get over it. Just because he's dirty, forget it. It's going to happen. And I said, no, it's not. And they said, oh, no, you don't understand. Don't go to City Hall. Don't go to the City Council, because you can't do that. They'll take you out. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. And I was able I'm going to tell people clearly in this hall, because I can't really turn around. Do not do what I'm about to say happened. Never try this. I looked Danny Cheatham in the face and I said, I know Jesus and I'm not afraid to die. Take your best shot. Because I knew I had to take it on and just full force go. I had to get the blessing of my family. My husband's sitting in the back room. My son can't be here tonight. My mother was in a hospital bed in Florida Hospital, downtown Orlando. That's the side of the family. Her father, my grandfather, was a sheriff in the state. And I said, Mama, this guy may go after me. He may get me. I don't know. For me trying to get free speech in this town and trying to clean this thing up. And she said, you know what? I raised you better. Go do what you got to do. You have my blessing. To this day, she stands by me. It was ugly. And then I tried to come in to do different things or to ask, and I could see people didn't have a say in this town. You didn't get to come before the council. And all of that will make sense to you. I then got pinned in a gas station by this officer with my son in the car. Had to take care of that. And then I discovered he was an undocumented fake cop for 10 years in our town, and I took him on with FDLE. Now, I will say to all of you, that you can say, well, you know, Charlene, then don't cry, you didn't know. If I had to go back, I'd do it all again in order to change this town. People that were of different race, or if you were gay, or anything that was out of inside the box that you think, you didn't have a say in this town. You were discriminated against. And the everyday public could not come before the council to speak like I am tonight. Now I have been sitting here and watching time after time, like tonight I saw leeway in this public thing, probably because you knew I was coming here to do this, because I haven't seen this before tonight. And they're in the middle of 3 minutes speaking, and then that's it, you're done, Ms. Smith, got to sit down, and they can't finish. What I would ask out of some of you is that use common sense. This it represents to me the Robert's Rules of Order. That's what I say we do here in Clermont. It's in when we fill out, documents that's not applicable. It isn't applicable here anymore. I spent too much of my life, and it took 4 years total to get this cop, once we found out he had fake documents, to take him out, and I stood in West Palm Beach for this city when he was stripped. And it opened up a can of worms, I get it. People started coming. They wanted me to fix things. I've got them to several attorneys. I have 2 black men that settled with this city that were falsely arrested. One that is sitting in prison right now, 20 years to life. I've testified to a federal judge. He's going to come out next year. He didn't do it. All of you sit here and you have nice, comfortable lives. I did too. But I decided to get my hands dirty because you know what? We can sit there and do nothing, or we can get in there and make a difference before we leave this earth. And I decided I could sit in my house and just pretend like this wasn't going on and try to raise my son, my neighbors, people that I met, and let this just go on. And now we're back to that. I am going to tell you, I'm not going to see we go back to the Danny Cheatham and Wayne Saunders days. That's not going to happen as long as I've got a breath in me. And somebody's got to have common sense up here. All of you need to understand, we don't have a mayoral government. You all have the same power sitting here, and when somebody's speaking at the public portion, and I know there's probably some developers in here and people with projects tonight, I've told you before, you let them go on and on and on. And then they get to come up here 3 and 4 times. But the person that's going to get their life taken away at their house because you're going to build a 4-story complex, bam, you tell them to sit down. And this happened at Northridge subdivision, as all of you remember. I know I really come in here rough on you guys, and I know I hate it for Diane Travis. She was the new person on the block, but I know she really cares about the city. And we almost had a riot out there in that hall because of Mayor Lee told the man that came up here with his whole presentation that in my lifetime here in Clermont, I have never seen anything before or probably since, that he spent 6 weeks to show you, and then Officer Evans is in the back. He can shake his head back and tell you there almost was an arrest in that hall. I went and intervened and helped to stop it. He almost had to because the lady went to grab Jimmy Crawford's arm, the attorney, and she wasn't going to hurt him. She was just going to say, she was out there calling everybody liars, that they had not told the truth in here. And so this is what ensues. Before I end, there are some people in this hall tonight that you don't know and recognize that are on that video that you're going to take home. And I hope that it will change your life when you see the people that were able to stand there. Keith Mullins was there. Nobody on that council did anything except Elaine Rennick, who then stepped up and said, I want FDLE to come in. I want to see what else was going on under this dirty cop, under our administration here. But you know what? Look at them. They're here right now tonight. Some of them I won't point out because they're going to be in litigation or they're afraid still. But this can't go on, guys, anymore. Wayne Weatherby's sitting in the back. Why do we have all those signs down the street? That is a pretty radical thing to do when you don't have free speech. And you have to go to that length and look at this longest-running lawsuit we have that I don't know what Mr. Manzar's told you, but I happen to know it's not over. And so we're probably going to hash this out, I imagine, in federal court. I keep having a lawyer still call me. But you know what? I'm up for the challenge to do it. But you guys need to use common sense. And I want to say something about Mr. Purvis is here in the audience. I see Wally Hurta's not. And I'm going to end this story tonight with Colonel Havernick. You don't know Colonel Havernick. He doesn't live in this city, never did. And you're going to learn, hopefully, a lesson that I did. Jim Purvis comes in here because he cares. You may get ticked at him. You may get ticked at Charlene Ford or Hopeland, but we have a different city of people that we can come in here and even call you by first name. You know? But he comes in here because he cares. He just stays on top of it. When they do and they say something you don't like, then you want to shut them down. Or 3 minutes is up. Or like tonight, I was told I couldn't be on this agenda. What did I tell Mr. Gray? I said, then you'll be meeting my attorney tonight, along with me and the media. Tell the mayor. Because anybody can be on this agenda if you've got a presentation. I couldn't do it at the public portion because you keep stopping everybody. So I had to get on there and do this tonight, and I don't plan to come back here, I hope, another 20 years. Then we have Wally Hurta. He came in here, and I'll tell you why demand's hurt and what's wrong. Because they cleared the cemetery down there on Wayne Saunders' orders and knocked all the cherubs and the angels off of his wife's grave. And that man was devastated when he come in here. I don't know who on the council was here when he came in to tell that story. I got up out of my seat and put my arm around him because the man couldn't hardly get it out. It was horrible. And when people do that, they come in here, guys, to this podium because there's a problem. And you guys are servants to us, not the other way around. And you don't have the right to get mad at them. They have the right to be mad here because they are the residents that pay the taxes. Now, I'm going to end with Colonel Havernick, and I'm done. And I didn't spend half the time that some of your developers do. I worked at a long-running job and walked out at 33 years old at my job in Orlando, started 16 years old in high school. I can't tell you the name that I worked at because I still have to watch my back because Danny Cheatham is out there with a gun, a badge, and he's a PI in North Carolina, and I know exactly where he is. And FDLE knows where he is. And the protection they gave me is over. So I look behind my back all the time. So I can't tell you where I work because it will lead back my records to my parents and my family. So I'm trying to protect them. But at my job at 25 years old, there was a man, Colonel Havernick, and he kept calling in, he kept calling our employees, and just wreaking havoc. Calling everybody, every name in the book, nasty, nasty. I worked my way up to the executive assistant of the president of Florida of this company. And I had clearance that I could do anything and write any checks, refunds, or do anything anybody wanted. I have close to probably $100,000 clearance, but I could have gone up to $500,000 with nobody's approval. So they said, finally, Ms. Ford, you're going to have to get on the phone. You got to talk to him because this guy's out of control. I get Colonel Havernick on the phone, and he is just cursing me out. And at my job, we could hang up, but I said, no, I'm going to listen because something's going on here, just like Wally heard of. And when he got done, I said, Colonel Havernick. Well, first of all, I said, Mr. Havernick. He said, no, you address me Colonel. I said, did you serve in the military and you're a colonel, sir? Yes, ma'am. And you'll address me. I said, then you earned every bit of it. I said, something's wrong. There's something more going on than what it is that you want me to do. And I said, please tell me, is there something else I can help you with? Anything going on at home? And he started to cry. And he cried, and he sobbed, and he cried. And it still touches me today. And I said, oh, please don't do that. Well, I didn't want you to get upset. What's going on? Did I say something wrong? No. He said, my wife died last year. We were married 61 years, and I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm a lost soul. I've turned into a mean, terrible person. I said, no, you're not. You just hurt. And I understand that. And in my job, I was able to slide over to the big boss and draw a box. It meant I have to go outside the box and handle this. And it's not going to be what I need to do with this company. And he shook his head, yeah. And I shut the door, and I stayed on the phone for 30 minutes with this man. That man taught me for the rest of my life. And I said, you know what? It's okay. I want you to come down here to my job. We have a big building I worked for. We have our own cafeteria. Come down and have lunch with me. Let's just have lunch. You know what? And you're not bad. And the next 2 days later, I got two of the biggest long stem roses I've ever seen in my life that were as big as both fists. I was a young married woman. I threatened my husband, don't ever send me long stem roses, because he worked hard and I didn't want his hard-earned money to spend it on flowers that would die. I'd never seen anything like it. He had sent the owner of the company out to deliver them to me. And that's the first day I heard about Godiva chocolates. I never knew about them at 25 years old. This little girl from a country town. But you know, they were this long. One was for me to take home, and one was for the employees that he had harmed. What the moral to this story is, it all makes sense, guys. When people get up here and they're venting and they're hurting or they're mad, it's because we've hurt them in this city. And if we can't do any better than shut them down when we get up here and go, oh, 3 minutes is up, and then, I've watched y'all do this, and Mayor, you too, in the middle of sentence, and go to the back of the line. Well, by the time they get back up here, when there's 10 people or 15 and whatever, you've lost your train of thought. So all I'm asking you to do tonight, and you may can do it administratively, I don't know. First of all, listen to the people that come up here. They may have a problem like Colonel Havernick or like Wally Herta or like tonight. I am a heavy heart. I almost called it off. And I'm going to only tell you this so that you understand there's real people at home with real lives. I've been a guardian to an elderly gentleman in Eustis for over 15 years. I had to make the call judgment today to do no more laying in the hospital over in Eustis Waterman, and to make that call judgment to end his life and get him under hospice. I wanted to call this off. But you know what? Maybe it's a good thing, because I want you to hear, there's people that they come in here and I got better things to do. I should be at that hospital tonight. But I took the time and said, no, it's got to go down like this. Now, you've heard enough, and I want y'all to take care of it. And when the developers come in, I want you to do something about it. You can try to figure out a proposal, or I'll come back with you. I'll talk to Darren. But when a person comes up there and they got to go against a developer and their attorney, they get equal time up there in their neighborhood. And maybe we can put a liaison at the back. I have a suggestion that you can help them out when they want to come up to the public portion. Maybe they don't even need to be here. Somebody just didn't take care of it at City Hall. We'll wipe some of those out for you. But I want to see that done because I spent too much time and paid a dear price in this town to help clean it up. And I was just a housewife, a mom, and a retired executive assistant secretary. It makes no sense, guys. So we're not going back. So please, hear that. And I hope I won't. I don't come in here because I'm still hurt too. This is not a happy place for me. Not at all. So please take it to your heart and know that this was from the deepest part of me that I could bring out of me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ford. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment about Mrs. Ford's presentation? Please come up. Okay, then I'm going to bring it back to the council. Before so, I'm assuming, Mrs. Ford, is you're objecting to the time limit that I have set, I think, on 3 occasions. And those of you who are here, that's my interpretation.
I'm sorry, and I'm so deeply troubled, I really just want to walk out the hall and go home. I know it's not the appropriate thing. Yes.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
Yes, and what I'm saying is, use common judgment. And when people, if you can't say, my trash can fell over, here's what had happened, it fell on me and my dog, and they're in the middle of mid-sentence, use common sense. But then I want to see something for you guys when these big guys come in here and they have a proposal. They may be a good proposal or bad. I'm not saying that developers and their attorneys are bad, but it's not fair. There's no fair playing field for our residents here. And those of us that are on that video, you'll see, and me, we paid a dear price for us to have our fair say in here. Because you didn't get one when I moved here. You heard me tell you that. That's what I want. And I don't know how you got to figure it out. And my proposal would be, is to tell the neighborhood that's going to come up, send them all and say, please have a representative to represent you. And then you won't have this problem. And the man that was here for Northridge, by the way, the person on the council here, he knows who he is. I know that man called you. And you know, the sad part was, I caught them out there in the hall. He said, we could have taken this, but we never had a fair shot. And he even called one of your councilmen and tried to apologize and thought he had done something to offend you people. And that just breaks my heart. And now they've said, I went to their homes, I tried to fix it. No, they're never coming back here. Some of them are selling their homes. So it's done, and that's what I want to see. Level playing field.
All right, before the council makes any comment, Mr. Manzares, would you explain about time limits?
Well, I just want to clarify one thing here. You mentioned that the time limits that you created, so that I stated. That's what you just said.
The time limit that I stated.
Right.
And it's not the time limit that I stated, is the point he's trying to make.
Exactly. The council adopted a resolution, a public participation resolution, a year or so ago, 2 years ago, that included the established time limits that the council has provided. The language that's contained in the resolution is authorized by law, where municipalities, local government bodies can adopt time limits related to public comment on issues. The main purpose of it is to ensure that everybody gets an opportunity to address the governing body. That's what it is, so that some person can't monopolize time and to have efficient opportunity for everybody to address items on the agenda. It's established by the city council, it's authorized by law, you can do that and you have it in place. It does also provide, the language that's in the resolution does provide that the time can be extended at any time by the mayor or the presiding officer. So to the extent that the resolution
not now, it was changed since.
And I think, and Ms. Ford did make the comment that is accurate. The fact is that if the mayor is the presiding officer of any of these meetings, the mayor has one vote like the rest of the council. If the council would like to extend additional time, then the council can tell the mayor, well, we want additional time. You can always do that. So that's always an option to do that when issues like common sense and additional time come into place. So, in fact, if you're going to change the time limits, then we need to have to redraft the resolution and the public participation resolution of the council adopted.
Okay, just add the word back to us, okay? So that is legally, understand that we're in the position has approved these time limits. Now, to the council members, comments, questions?
Historically, and I know, I guess I'm the senior member, Mayor Turtle used to be very generous with the time. And there were times where people would start passing me notes, make them sit down, make them sit down. And the pressure was put upon him and the rest of the council to codify it. Because it was always, you could talk and the mayor said, that's it. And for years we listened. We sit here till 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And the pressure was put on him to put it in code with the agreement that the mayor could extend that. And I think most of us, if somebody is making a presentation, they're staying on point, it's good, clean, concise. I think we sat here and listened way beyond 3 minutes. But I think sometimes when people start jumping all over the place, the 3 minutes was enough to pull them back in. Because I know that before I was used to speaking in public, I'd go before the school board or something, I'd start shaking. And then I realized that we just plain old people up here. And I know some of the people who speak here, they're intimidated by this dark desk up here. And I think what we want to be is as speaker-friendly and as citizen-friendly as we possibly can. But people are very, very nervous, and unless there's a, say what you want to say in 3 minutes and then move on to the next person, it can be a little intimidating and they tend to repeat themselves and ramble. So I think that the time limit helps them gather their thoughts, but I think the judicious extension of the time by the mayor, I'm sure if Mr. Bates wanted to hear more, he could say, excuse me, Madam Mayor, can we spend time?
And we have done.
I don't think we've ever really been hard on time, and compared to the county and school board, we're very generous. So and this is something we said in our retreat and stuff, so I think it just continued.
Well, for me, I think where it started in the very first meeting, the first time we implemented this.
That was like 2 years ago?
No.
Year and a half ago? It was before I came.
No. The first meeting that the big neighborhood came in and caused a lot of roar.
Okay, is that?
You weren't at that meeting. I don't think she was at that meeting.
She absolutely was, yeah.
She wasn't. She was absent for that meeting.
When I was sick?
Yes.
Oh.
It was shortly after you got up there.
But I think,
Well, my apologies. Well, for me, I think that's where it kind of started,
She was at the first meeting, but the next one,
It was the first one I'm talking about.
All right, does it matter which meeting
Well,
it
no,
was?
it really doesn't, but I think
I hate to interject and give you time
I think things have
limit,
changed
but.
since that first meeting is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of reworked the way, we're allowing people to speak.
I think what you understand, if people who come at every meeting, Mr. Purvis, how many times have I imposed the time limit since I've been mayor? Do you recall? Just offhand? Assessment fee? I did.
Jim Purvis, 4206 Hammersmith, responding to the mayor. I can only recall once, to be honest. However, it's the demeanor that upsets many people. It's not the 3 minutes. It's the demeanor and the delivery of the cutoff that really is upsetting to a lot of us.
Okay. The cutoff is the buzzer going off.
Well,
That's the cutoff.
The cutoff is how you say the words. You
Thank you.
don't understand your projection, and that's not a fault. That is just your personality. But it comes off as very strong, very authoritative, and disconnected from the rest of the room.
Okay. Thank you. No. I have only instituted the time limit at council meetings approximately 2 to 3 times max. I remember twice. So it's not where I'm having that instituted at every meeting. It hasn't happened. It hasn't. So the inference that this is going on every single meeting is incorrect. That's number one. The fact that people are being cut off, we have a timer. And I know that I recall at the times that we have had a time limit, that timer only going off twice during maybe 14 or 15 people speaking. They all spoke within the 3-minute limit with no problem. And I have only used it when there were an excessive number of people that wanted to discuss an issue, period. General council meeting, it's not been implemented. No one has been timed. So, I have allowed, and this council has allowed, the residents of the city to come up and speak. And I realize that you haven't been at meetings, Mrs. Ward, for quite a few months. And health-wise, whatever, I don't know. So maybe you weren't aware that that was something, the meetings you attended did have a time limit. The ones you weren't present for did not have time limits. And this has not been something that has been stifling to residents, because they have come up and spoken. And they have spoken, in essence, in the 3 minutes. You were at the assessment fee meeting, okay? And 3 minutes was at that assessment fee meeting because there were over 200 people present. And I instituted the 3-minute limit. This is it. I have the right to institute this 3-minute limit. By our own resolutions, by the law, I have the right. And in situations where there are an excessive number of people that want to speak, I will implement the 3-minute limit. In other situations where that's not warranted, I don't. And that's the way I, as an aggressive, strong individual, as mayor of the city, will run my meetings. Okay?
Mayor, I think if you will ask the city clerk to go back and pull out the resolution, it was you could implement a 3-minute time limit, as well as the council could also vote to extend the time as well.
Fine. That's fine.
And that's not stated in
no council member has ever asked.
Well, that's not stated in the agendas now as it was before. It's been changed.
I would disagree with you a little bit there, Mayor. I mean, we have asked, and you've abided by it several times.
Okay, so I'm going to take it back. I did do it. Didn't even know, but I did it. Okay, we do have
Can we
presentations.
let this lady speak?
Well, it's back.
You ladies up here.
All right.
My name is Alice Long, and I'm at
Would you say your name again?
Alice Long at 10620 Cedar Forest Circle in Clermont, Florida. I'm representing my husband. He's in that video that she gave me. And he didn't have a chance to speak. And in fact, last year, I was cut off when I tried to speak by the city manager and I believe you before we got Mr. what's his name out of here. Anyways, all I'm asking is you do your diligence and use common sense. I mean, these people represent you and pay the tax dollars. And, you know, if the person needs a few more minutes, please allow them. That's all I'm asking. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 11. Do you want to take a break? No? No, I'm saying, do you want to take a break? It's 8:15. We can end it 2 hours. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and guests. John Bruce and complainant. Agenda item 11, Harvey's variance. This request was originally scheduled to be heard at the City Council at its October 13th meeting, was postponed at the applicant